I got motivated being an activist about 15 years ago, and I was motivated by a thing that I found that activates a lot of people that I meet in my travels that were activated for the same reason. We got busted. So we got busted, and then that pissed us off, you know. So I've been pissed off ever since. We have the power on our side because we have the truth. I've always said, you say that the pin's mightier than the sword. Well, pick up your pin.
You know, the truth is out there. The war has been going on for 40 brutal years. The government has a patent on cannabis. They know it's a very effective medicine. They've been giving LB Musica and others marijuana as medicine for over, since 85, 36 years. Something like 23% of the young adults voted, so 75%, I mean, a little over 75% if you didn't vote. So come 12, if you don't like what's going on, remember it at the polls and vote.
As a disabled vet, I have firsthand knowledge about cannabis as a medicine, and I can definitely testify to the fact that veterans get benefits from medical cannabis they don't get from other drugs that are available in the pharmacy at the VA. It's just very straightforward. It's a substance that has great medical benefit for veterans as well as the community at large. Just veterans are more likely than the community at large to be disabled and to have some of these very serious chronic conditions like neuropathic pain, like post-traumatic stress, even phantom limb pain, all sorts of cancers that respond well to cannabis as an adjunct therapy. So I really applaud Oregon for stepping up and protecting patients. And now, as Sam was saying, we've been working hard in the VA system for many years and have now gotten the VA to recognize cannabis as a medicine that is a legal medicine, so that if a veteran's drug tested at the VA hospital in Oregon, they won't be and cannot be administratively punished or have their treatment for pain medicine denied or some other services at the VA hospital denied. So that's an important step. We got that last year. So that's actually national, and of course the VA doesn't really do things on a state-by-state basis. So right now that's one of our biggest tasks, is to try to figure out how do we extend this to veterans that are in states that don't have legal access via their state law. So there's several things that we're doing towards that end. I definitely think that SSDP and anyone that's interested in the drug war at large would be interested in these things. So I'll give you a quick synopsis. Tell me if I'm taking too much time. But we've got a coalition to reschedule cannabis. Basically, cannabis is in Schedule 1, just like LSD, just like heroin, just like crystal methamphetamine. It's ridiculous. It's a plant material. Even more ridiculous, there's a synthetic petroleum-based drug called Marinol, which is actually Schedule 3, which means that a doctor can prescribe it quite easily and quite readily, even with refill prescriptions. And that's supposedly the active ingredient in marijuana. That's Schedule 3, while the plant material itself is Schedule 1, and nobody can touch it or even look at it without a DEA permission slip. So that's basically where we're at. And the Coalition to Reschedule Cannabis is going through the process created by the law itself to reschedule. Now, of course, it's like asking the guard dog to let you in the gate. It's not exactly the best opportunity we have for a good answer, but it is the process. And little by little, we've been able to show greater and greater hypocrisy by going forward with this. And right now, we just put in another lawsuit. This is adding up. There's 30 years of lawsuits. If you ever want to Google a fantastic history, look at the rescheduling of marijuana history. It's really fascinating. So where we're at right now is waiting for a judge to rule that the DEA has to answer our request, and we'll go from there. Interestingly, Marinol, the drug I was just talking about, is coming off of patent, which means that other drug companies will now be able to produce copies, generically, of this synthetic, and they could actually either do that using plant material or synthetic cannabinoids. So you've got like 40-something big pharmaceutical companies that are working frantically to come out with a generic Marinol right now as we speak. So that's basically what we do. I'm also a volunteer advocate with Virginians Against Drug Violence, which is in Virginia, where I'm currently living at in the mountains. And we've been working on the drug war in its totality for a long time. And there are so many things that are so horrible about the drug war. I mean, it's hard to even know where to start. You know, the forfeiture of property, they're going by ancient, you know, Magna Carta law there, where your horse can go damage someone else's garden so they can find your property guilty of a crime, your horse, and seize it. That's the law that they're going by with forfeiture. So when they seize your house, your house is actively committing a crime, just so you know. But these are all just very strange things. We live in a very strange upside-down universe when it comes to the drug war. The drug war causes more violence. It causes drugs to be more available and more dangerous. But none of those markers of failure seem to dent the people that run the drug war. They just push on and they come up with some other marker of success, like comparing the average teenager's amount of drug use 30, 40 years ago to the average amount today, but only for a certain age group. And then they'll come up with their markers of success. So it's really just an absolute and utter failure. And everywhere you look, you can basically find evidence of that. It's just very difficult to support the drug war at this point. And there aren't that many that do. We tried to get the drug warriors out to debate, and they just don't come out anymore. They hide behind the status quo. So if we can get the laws changed, I think that there's not going to be a heck of a lot of challenge. You know, write to your legislators, write to your letters to the editor. These things really do have a great impact. Just this group of people here, if every single one of you were to write a 4-line letter to the editor, probably 2 or 3 of them will be published in the local papers today.
All right, so I've known LV probably since the Measure 74 campaign. I forgot how exactly we met. Maybe through John Walsh. I'm not sure. But yeah, so actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna. This is LV Musica. She has such a history with the marijuana movement. She's been doing this long before all of us were born. Most of us, anyways. Yeah, so give it up for LV.
Methuselah's wife is here to talk to you tonight. No, seriously, it's really nice to see you here because we do have a very big job to do. 40 years ago, a war on us was really thrown at us. They call it the war on drugs, but I have never seen any of those drugs go to jail, although I hear there are many in there. And exactly what have we accomplished? Let's see, we just, a month ago, we took Dr. Schaefer and his wife, Dr. Molly Pride, a cancer victim herself, into prison for 5 years because they had compassion, because they believed in the principles. The Blackstone commentaries were the basis of our Constitution and the laws in this United States. And they clearly state that when a man-made law is contrary to the law of nature, it has no validity anytime under any circumstances. So this war on us is really an insult. And please, whenever you speak about it, please drop that R and make it clear to your politicians, to the readers of the articles you will write for your papers or for wherever you write them. Your term papers are excellent. Call it what it is, a war on us. A war that has criminalized close to 25 million of us. And they admit that they only catch a very small percent. They think it's only like 2% of us. And they have still made criminals out of 25 million of us. So how many of us are actually smoking on a daily basis in this country and in this planet? The figure is unsurmountable. We are the largest minority in this country. I miss the relationship I had with the officers when I was growing up that I know you don't have with your officers now. Consequently, I developed glaucoma in my early 30s. You're not supposed to have that till you get old. Well, I got old fast, I guess. No, seriously, I ended up with glaucoma, and we found out within a year after I had it that nothing, and I do mean nothing, nothing that they had worked anywhere near as effectively and as wonderfully as marijuana did for me. And it was a search for 12 years for me to get it, but I kept allowing them to cut and cut my eye till my better eye was gone forever, for good. How many of us are in this country today blinded?